Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Kilo Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wes McKnight. You can find me on Instagram at WesMcKnight7. And like always, I'm joined by my co-host, Nick Sia. And if you're looking for him on Instagram, you can find him at NotASquid99. How you doing today, Nick?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Just got back from Parkersburg. But yeah, guys, we got another great guest for you today. Now, I have to say, I think we got some of the better guests for a small podcast. We're going to jump in fresh off his number 2 all-time total in the 165 weight class. We have Nick Onega join us today. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's good, man? Thanks for having me. Let's get this started.
Yeah, definitely. How have you been? I haven't talked to you here for a little while.
I'm pretty good. During prep, I don't really do too much, man. I'm just focused. I'm just making sure I get in 4 to 5 meals a day. I train 4 days a week. Pretty much just been doing that and just staying focused. So.
Yeah, definitely. So for those that don't know you, which, I mean, you got to be living under the rock at this point, give everyone a little rundown about like your weight class, meet PRs, and just some general information.
So I've competed at the 165 class pretty much the whole time I've been powerlifting. One meet I didn't make weight, so I was 181. I weighed in like 172. That was a RPS meet up in Canton. But so pretty much I was talking with Aaron about this, my training partner. I turned pro when I was just turned 20. So I hit 1560 at 165. And Mark Anthony Vandermolen was helping me out that whole time. And then from that point on, I started training with Aaron Palco. And within a year, I competed at the Arnold. He got my total up to 1660. Then a year later, a little bit over a year later, I just competed at that RPS meet in Kentucky, and I totaled 1763. So, I mean, within 2 years, I've had 200 pounds on my total in one weight class. So, can't complain. I just got to thank them. I got to thank Kim Vandermolen. He's Mark Anthony's dad. He's helped me out a lot. Dan Daig over at Lexen Extreme. Can't thank him enough either. So I just shout out those guys and everyone else at Lexen that's helped me. I mean, there's just so many people to name. I can't name them all, but yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So let me ask you, How does it feel? It's been a week now since you've put up that total. Number 2 all time in the weight class. Is that really like synced in yet?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I've started to notice like more people are starting to recognize it on Instagram and stuff, giving me some recognition. But honestly, I mean, the Kern's set for November. I'm not sure if it's going to happen just because it's in California with coronavirus and stuff. So I'm still going to prep for it, but I mean, if it gets canceled, it gets canceled. So I think I'll definitely either compete in November or maybe we'll get pushed back till March or April of next year. But I'm kind of just, honestly, I'm ready to get up to 181. So I'm ready just to get up to 195 to 200. I'm like 185-ish right now. And just cut down to 181 and start competing there.
If you were to do the Kern, would you do it at 165 or bump up to 181?
I'd do 181, honestly. I'm ready. I'm grown out of 165. That weight cut was so tough on me this last time. I literally went down from 185 to 165 pretty much within a week. I just changed my diet. I was just eating chicken, rice. That's about it, honestly, just chicken, rice.
Hey.
And then I did a water load, obviously. So I already drink a gallon of water every single day. So Sunday's 1 gallon. Monday was 1.5 gallons. Tuesday was 2 gallons. Wednesday was 3 gallons. Or 2 gallons as well on Wednesday. And Thursday I cut out water completely and no food at all. Also no carbs on Wednesday. So no carbs or salt for 2 days in a row. Thursday I just starved myself and pretty much just sat in a steam room all day in my hotel. So I cut about 20 pounds there. And I was even telling like Aaron this. I went to bed 167.2. I was thinking I was going to sleep that off, wake up at like 165.0 or something. I only woke back up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I was still 167.2. So those last pounds were super, super hard to get off, those last couple pounds. So yeah, I just think I'm just done with the 165 class. I'm ready just to gain some weight and make it easier cut.
Yeah, and you've always had pretty challenging weight cuts, if I'm not mistaken, right? The last few meets when you're getting down to 165.
Yeah, the Arnold was pretty challenging. It wasn't as bad. I think it was like 175 to 180 when I cut there. So I was like 10 to 15 pounds, but this one was tough. This was like 15 to 20 pounds. I even at West Virginia University when I was there my freshman year. I remember I was still competing at 165. I think I weighed like 170 though, so a 5 pound weight cut. It's not that hard. I remember you drove me to that meet, and what was that Johnny's meet? I can't remember what town that was, but yeah, I remember you picked me up, took me there after I cut some weight. But yeah, no, I'm just done with it. I'm just getting too big. I think I'm too tall for it too. So I'm done. I'm ready just to grow.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, real quick. So before we go into some of these other topics, I want to spend some time talking about this meet. Really, just what'd your prep kind of look like going in?
So since I literally just had finished a prep for the Kern, I just did a super short prep this time. Already gained a lot of strength from the Kern prep. So I just did an 8-week prep. I benched twice a week. Monday was my light bench. Thursday was my heavy bench. And this time I did switch up my squat and deadlift a little bit. So normally I would squat once a week, deadlift once a week. But what I did here was Sunday I would squat heavy and then pull light. And then the next Sunday I would pull heavy and then squat light. So I just alternated every single Sunday. And that actually worked out really, really well for me just because I was working my lower body really hard on Sunday, but I wouldn't punish it again throughout the week. So I pretty much had a full week just to recover. And Wednesday I'll just go in, hit like a heavy back. So I do like sets of 5 to 8 on back and just hammer it. So yeah, I mean, it was a good prep. I like the 8-week prep, honestly, just because I didn't feel too beat up. I had really no injuries. Normally I do like 10 to 12 weeks, but I think I'm gonna start doing 8 weeks now. I liked it a lot better.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have to ask, going into the meet, did you expect to have the success you did?
Yeah, I thought I would do pretty well. I thought so. The goal was 1770. Best case scenario, but I always know how meets are. I mean, you might not be feeling great. You might not squat too well or deadlift too well or something. So I was hoping for anything over 1700. I would have been happy with that. I'd still be at a 40-pound meet PR. But I was really looking for anything from 1720 to 1750. But I mean, we fell up a little bit short, just 1763. But I mean, that's fine. Not too worried about it.
Yeah, definitely. What'd your attempts look like going to the meet? So I've seen your best lifts, and I don't know if you want to tell everyone kind of what those were, but I'd be interested to see because I haven't heard what attempts did you take? Like, did you miss any lifts or were you not? Okay.
So on squat, I opened up 622. I actually missed that because of depth. Then my second attempt, I still went up just because I knew the strength was there. I was feeling good. I went to 655. I had 2 whites and 1 red. I think one of my hips was a little high. But then I went up to 688, which was a PR. The most I've done in the gym was 685, and the most I've done at a meet was 650. So I went to 688 and actually nailed it. It was my best squat of the day for sure. Then on bench, I opened up, I think, 405-ish. I can't remember, whatever the kilos go to. I think it was 402. And then white lights, 3 whites there. And then I went to 424.5 or something. And then 3 whites is there as well. But they move pretty slow. So I went to 429 and I just missed it. I took it too low on my chest. I took it like pretty much halfway down my stomach. And then for deadlift, I opened up 605-ish, went right to 633, and they were flying. My deadlifts were flying on meet day. And then just to secure the number 2 total, I went to 650 just to secure it. But honestly, I think I could have deadlifted about 675 or 700. I don't know if you guys seen the video of me deadlifting, but they were flying that day.
Yeah, it's funny. We actually have in the notes here because we watched the video. We are going to ask you why the deadlift was so easy. I was like, come on, man, load some weight on that damn bar.
Yeah, the meet director asked me if I wanted to take a shot at 700 just for an unofficial 1800 total. But I decided not to. Just why risk an injury? But I mean, I think I could have got, like I said, 675 to 700. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it flew up. What'd you think, Nick?
Yeah.
I mean, I was the one that wrote that question. I saw that, and I don't think I saw the entire post yet. And I was like, did he just take his opener to secure that number 2 total, or?
Yeah.
Because all I could think about at that point was like he probably had 700 that day, and he could have been like a 165 to total 1800, and then that would have been insane.
Yeah, I think I would have been the second one to do that. So Rostislav Petkov, he's number 1 all time. He's got like an 1840 total, and his deadlift's like 730 or something. So he's just ridiculous. He's a freak. I mean, the thing is, like, Petkov was, I think, 29 when he did that. I'm only 22, so I don't feel like sticking around too much longer at 165. I'm just gonna let myself grow. I think I've already proven myself at that weight class. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. We were talking the other day. I mean, I think you could have a legitimate shot at a 2,000-pound total at 181 eventually. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. I really don't.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that's the only thing I was talking
about. What would those numbers be like? What do those numbers have to be? Would I have to squat 8, maybe? I haven't really looked at the numbers.
I'd have to break it down, but I mean, you'd have to squat close to 8. But I'm telling you, man, because I know you're not going to weigh 181. You're going to be up around 200s, obviously,
exactly,
or above.
Yeah.
I think there's some potential there, and you're just 21 years old. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I think the potential could be endless.
Well, I think
that's a great goal. I mean, we'll see though. Like, whenever I do my first meet at 181, we'll see where I'll be shooting at. I think I can get my bench up definitely like the 450 or 460 or something at 181.
Yeah.
And then my squat, I think 750-ish, just because, I mean, if I'm going to weigh more, it's going to be a lot easier to squat that weight. And pull, next meet, I'm going to probably go for 670. I mean, I'm probably just go for 700. Why not? So
you think you can hit 800 one day?
Oh,
sorry. You think you can hit like 800 one day? I can't remember what like John Hacks or like Cody Blazek's total breakdown is, but like just doing some quick math, I think a 750 squat, 450 bench, and an 800 pull would give you 2K.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a freaky pull at 181 like John Hack, but I mean, I think I could definitely have a pretty good squat and a good bench for sure. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to jump in now, kind of get off the topic of your recent meet, just to let everyone know. Let's talk about how you got started in powerlifting.
Okay. Pretty much just from lifting weights for football. I just played football in high school, and I've always been interested in getting stronger, just growing my body and stuff. So first thing, I just started benching a lot, and honestly, that's all I would do. I wouldn't even touch legs, so I just benched all the time. And actually, one of my teachers, he was a strength coach for our football team. He was big into powerlifting. His son is Mark Anthony Vandermolen, and so his son is pretty much who got me started at Lexen, got me in there and stuff. But yeah, his dad just showed me around powerlifting, showed me bands, chains, just kind of like how it works, how important it is to rest for meet day, how to prep for a meet. I mean, another reason why I think my deadlift was flying on meet day, I take 3 weeks off deadlift before a meet. I don't squat for 2 weeks, and then I don't bench for 1. So a lot of people don't take that time to let their body really heal for a meet day. So I think that's huge as to why my lifts were flying. But yeah, I just started competing in powerlifting a little bit in high school. I did a couple meets. I think I did 1 or 2 meets in high school. And then pretty much, I remember I was at WVU on the powerlifting team, obviously with you guys. Mm-hmm. I came back for a fall break, and Mark Anthony's dad pretty much told me, hey, go train with my son for this weekend over at Lexen. So I went to Lexen, checked it out, obviously loved it, great atmosphere. I just realized, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to go back here, start training more often. So I left WVU and just took powerlifting a lot more serious. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started into powerlifting.
Yeah, you left me to be the strongest Nick on the team after that.
Nice.
You know what's interesting? I always tell guys a lot. And obviously, I'm not in school anymore. But before I left the WVU Powerlifting team, your name would get brought up pretty frequently, especially like some of the newer lifters, like in our group message or whatnot. Yeah, oh yeah. And one thing we preach to them a lot is like you see a lot of guys just wanting to do like so much, just constant, like increase volume like crazy, train 6 days a week. And one thing I always reference, I remember when you first started training with us, you trained like 3 days a week, and that was it. I still remember the first day that you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna try to do some speed bench," like, and because I was picking you up at the time, and you went and you did like a couple sets of speed bench, and then you'd see you over there just like scooping creatine into a shaker bottle, calling it at the end of your day. So it's interesting to me how simple you keep things. But that being said, and we still see it all the time in your lifts now. I mean, you got spot on form in about every lift, and you spend a lot of time just practicing that, and you can really tell.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I agree, man, totally. So people just don't rest enough. I mean, during meet prep, I will stretch 2 times a day. I'll stretch in the morning and at night. It's huge for my recovery. I just feel so much better. And yeah, I only train 4 days a week now, so I'll just sometimes if I don't even feel like benching on my second bench day, I'll just do dumbbell bench or something. I won't even take a barbell to my chest. So, especially if you've squatted heavy. I mean, if you squatted heavy that week, it takes a toll on your elbows and everything. So, yeah, people just don't appreciate how much time you have to actually rest to get that strength.
Yeah, definitely. So you talked a little bit about going back to Lexen to kind of take powerlifting more seriously. How does your kind of like day look? So as far as like out of the gym, when you're compared to when you're at WVU to where you're in Columbus now, do you think you have more time to rest, or what are you doing just kind of like day to day?
So I was working at Window Nation as a salesman, but I got laid off because of coronavirus. So since then, I've kind of just been relaxing. So I've had a ton of time in the world just to focus on powerlifting. That's another reason why I was just thinking to myself, if I didn't do really good at this meet, it's just not going to happen because I've never had this much time to actually just focus on training. But funny you said that. This week I'm about to go to a apprenticeship conference for an electrician apprenticeship. So hopefully I can get that going, get a good career going as an electrician. But yeah, we'll see. Like you said, but as my day to day's been, I've just been relaxing, just focus on training and nutrition and stuff. So
yeah, I mean that's the ideal situation. I know anytime I've ever trained like over Christmas break during school and I'd have a few months off, my numbers would just shoot straight up every single time because I'd be sleeping in until 10 or whatnot. But
I was feeling like Larry Wheels or Eric Lillybridge, those guys that just focus on training all the time,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so kind of talk a little bit more about your time at WVU Powerlifting. I know you competed in the Holiday Havoc with Johnny Lane, and you talked about your total earlier, put up a pretty good total. Do you think that you benefited from your time there, just kind of getting some more experience under the barbell, like around because we had some strong guys on the team as far as like Clay and Matt and those guys. Do you think you were able to learn some from there as well? I mean, obviously, it seems Lexen seems like the ideal place to train as far as training partners and stuff. But I know you can always pick up a little bit of information no matter where you're at.
Right. Yeah, no. I benefited a lot from WVU. I mean, I met Jaden LeCarrier there. Obviously, I met you guys. And like you said, you brought up Matt Maloney. I mean, I remember Matt gave me a pretty good bench program that I think a lot of you guys have used. I liked it a lot. Clay definitely has a different style of training. I mean, I never really followed it. I know he likes to bench. What does he bench about 3 or 4 times a week?
Who, Matt?
Clay.
Oh yeah, Clay. Yep. He still does.
Okay. Yeah. So he's definitely like a different style of training. I don't really train like that. But I just thought, I benefit a lot from WVU. But I just thought, like you kind of are like who you surround yourself with. So if you want to be at the very, very top, you have to surround yourself with the very, very best. And Lexen's one of the best gyms in the world, honestly. I mean, we've got so many top lifters there. If you just look at the board, I mean, the numbers are insane. So I just thought I had to go there just for myself, just to, just to get the best overall position for myself.
Yeah,
No, man, I
definitely.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always talk a lot about we talk about the Lexen guys. We've had in the past episodes we talk about some like the powerlifters we think are underrated, and Aaron's name's been brought up, your name's been brought up, stuff like that. Because there's a lot of guys there. It's like you guys are some of the best in the world, and I think it's just because you're not all over social media constantly and things like that, and people don't give you the recognition you deserve a lot of times.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. How we're pretty underrated. Everyone knows about Westside Barbell in Columbus, but no one really talks about Lexen Extreme, unless if you're actually in the powerlifting community. But yeah, I mean, I think Lexen's way better than Westside now. But it's not even close. I mean, Westside used to be great back in the day, but I mean, there's no one at 165 that's going to beat me. There's no one at 181 that's going to beat Jonathan Harder at Westside, and I don't think they have anyone that could compete with Aaron. I know Westside likes to do multiply, but I mean, our raw guys are ridiculous right now. So,
yeah, definitely. And I think you see a lot of the Westside guys come over to Lexen after different things happen at the gym or whatnot. I know Jaden did. We spoke to him a few weeks ago.
Jaden's come over. Mark Anthony Vandermolen was at Westside for a little bit. Obviously, Chuck Vogelpohl left at one point, put up his best total while at Lexen. So, yeah, there's some big names at Lexen.
Jason Coker moved to Lexen too for a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, Jason Coker. I forgot about that.
And he was like,
I mean, I think he has the best bench all time at 198 multiply. He benched
something like
900 or something stupid. So,
yeah. So is Lexen invite only, or is it just an open gym for anyone?
It's actually, it's public. But I mean, kind of is invite only. You pretty much just have to know someone that goes there to pretty much get in. Most people, you know what I mean? It's a warehouse pretty much tucked away back in Grove City in a little warehouse complex. So it just doesn't really get any recognition. It's just very remote kind of. So yeah, you just got to know someone to get in.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like you guys have great training groups. I know when you guys are posting on Instagram, I follow you, Aaron, Jaden, or whatnot. It seems like everyone is very focused, very similar to what you kind of see in Westside, where you have 6-7 guys all squatting together or whatnot. And I mean, that's an environment that I think is lacking in a lot of powerlifting now. We spoke about this a couple times, like you compare it to like West Virginia powerlifting, where it seems like everyone's all spread out throughout the gym. It's like that atmosphere, though, I think you can really grow as a lifter.
Oh, I totally agree. I love that atmosphere. I mean, if you come in on a Sunday morning to squat at Lexen, you're going to see there's like 3 squat groups, mainly 3 or 4. Everyone's helping each other out. You never have to ask for a spotter. If you need your knees wrapped, they're always going to get wrapped. Pretty much just like whenever we're benching, it's me, Aaron, Jake Marcy. I don't know if you guys knew who that is. But I mean, those dudes are huge, strong. Everyone just helps each other out. You never have to ask for anything really. So yeah, the environment's huge. I agree. I noticed like a lot of these people, they won't have a spotter on bench or on squat. They'll be taking their heavy squats with no spotter on Instagram. I don't get that. I don't know how people can train like that. I could never. I can't get hyped up like that. And I want to feel safe either. I like to have someone with me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's one thing that I've lacked in my training, which I mean, right now I got some knee problems. I'm not doing much of training, but when I do and I'm taking powerlifting serious, it's the community of people around me. So my last prep that I did when I was getting ready for bar fight, I spent time, actually most of my training was in Parkersburg. I lifted with a guy named Alan Haga. And he was an old school lifter, used to train with Eddie Cohen back in the day. And I mean, we had a good group going on. And I mean, I made the most gains there. But you're right. I see that very frequently, guys just kind of taking heavy squats and stuff by themselves, which even if it is safe and everything's ready to go, it's like you're saying, like, I want people to be there to help, like, pump me up. And spotters are the best way to do that. And just having someone maybe, well, apparently you like to get slapped in the face from your meet. That's what I saw, but maybe some back slaps or something to get you pumped up.
Yeah, I just slapped myself in the face. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, your environment, like, definitely pays. I think it plays like the biggest role in your training. Honestly, like, you could have a perfect program and like perfect training or anything, but if you're not surrounding yourself with the right people, like you're just not going to really do much.
Yeah, and at Lexen, I mean, if you walk in, you can turn the music up as loud as you want, just blare it, put on whatever music you want. You can't do that at a commercial gym. I went to LA Fitness a couple weeks ago just to hit back with one of my buddies. And I mean, I had my headphones in and stuff, but still, it's just so lame there to me now. Ever since I've been to a gym like Lexen, everything else is just awful, honestly. So I'm glad I'm able to train at Lexen.
I remember like over the winter, I ran into you like randomly at Old School Iron up in Cleveland.
Oh, yep.
And
I've been taking you there.
Yeah, that was like, honestly, that was weird because I just didn't know you were going to be there. But
yeah,
like that's always what I reference when I tell people is like, yeah, you need like a good environment to train in, just because a lot of people there are just like absolute balls to the wall powerlifters.
Yeah, Old School is a good environment. I like that place a lot. It's kind of a commercialized gym, but it still feels very like old school and just not underground kind of.
I mean, you got like Daniel Masenik, James Dahlman, Emma Jarman, Jeremy Brick. There's a few other names there that like are big name lifters that train there.
And that's the thing about Lexen too is, I mean, we got people like Emma, like you just mentioned her. She'll drive 2.5 hours whenever she's in prep on Sunday just to come train at Lexen. So I mean, that just shows you how good the environment is. Mason Bruce will do that as well. He's one of the top multiply guys at 308. So I mean, that just shows you how important the environment is. People are willing to drive 2-3 hours just to go to Lexen, just to have a heavy squat day there.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and I think there needs to be more like that. I think people are too big of pansies nowadays, and they get all butthurt if they can't squat the same as someone else, and that's why a lot of those like groups, I mean, are just kind of just not being a thing. I mean, you see it all the time on Instagram. Like you're saying, half the lifters. I don't want to pick on Nick, but a lot of the USAPL guys are lifting in their own home gyms or whatnot.
They are. I don't understand.
No, I 100% agree, dude. Like, over quarantine, the one thing I learned is like I can never train alone. I just need to be around people. I need to be around like-minded people.
So how are you guys during quarantine? Did you guys have to find a spot to train, or were you guys able to still train? Or
yeah, so I was training off and on because at that point I was planning on doing a meet in October, but then just like quarantine kind of threw everything off, and then I just decided to back out of it. So, but at the time I was trying to train. I had a couple little, like a guy I knew had some stuff in his apartment in Morgantown, and then I would drive back to Parkersburg and train at and I'd go there and work out. It just off and on, but really I got pretty I wasn't very consistent with it, which is the reason why I backed out of the meet, and I'm still just struggling to get back to where I was at. But
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Carry on. But I was blessed enough to be able to travel like an hour away from Columbus. I'm not going to mention the gym name just because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. But I was blessed enough to travel an hour. I was blessed enough to travel an hour, be able to still train. I mean, gyms were shut down for 1 to 2 months. I can't not train because I'm going to lose way too many gains. You know what I mean? We've all worked so hard for this. I can't have that time off.
No, I completely agree. I struggle with the same.
I think it's also the mentality, like, if you really love what you do, like, you'll find any way to do it.
Exactly. Very true.
At least that's what I told myself when I was squatting out of, like, a wooden squat rack in the middle of a thunderstorm in, like, buttfuck nowhere, Missouri.
Dude, he had cows around him.
What?
Yeah,
I was like, where the hell are you at?
Yeah, my parents, like, moved to a farm in Missouri. Like, the cattle isn't theirs. We're just surrounded by them.
Uh-huh. Why are we at Missouri?
My parents moved there. I'm no longer a Cleveland boy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So one thing that we found interesting, we kind of wanted to talk about that I know you speak a lot about, and you can see from some of the other Lexen guys, is how you guys stagger the start of your prep. So I've noticed like you'll start your bench like a little farther out than your squat, and then maybe your deadlift. We just kind of want to know like what's your thinking behind that, and where do you find that it really benefits you as a lifter?
So I don't do that.
Okay.
I think Aaron does that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think if he thinks he needs more work on his squat, he'll just maybe have like a few lighter days just to get comfortable with the weight again. Sets of 5 and stuff, just because if he hasn't squatted heavy in a while. So yeah, he might squat 12 weeks out and maybe start deadlift 10 weeks out and bench 8 weeks out. And also, honestly, I'm a big believer too. Bench, I don't think you need that much time to really peak that. So I think 8 weeks is about perfect just for a prep. But yeah, no, I think it's just more of getting used to the weight again. Just because like on squat, it's not normal to. I mean, you can't if you try to squat 90 to 95% of your max in the off season. I don't think it's very smart. You're not going to make that many gains. So yeah, I think the whole thing behind that is just maybe get used to the heavy weight again.
Yeah. And I know I see you a lot of times using like different specialty bars and stuff in the off season. Is that something you kind of prioritize is getting out of like the real specific competition lifts?
Yeah, because I like to get my elbows a break in the off season as much as possible. So I use a Duffalo bar, SBD, safety squat bar, camber bar, whatever it is. Just one, it's a new challenge. Helps, especially the SBD helps me brace. So yeah, I like I said, mostly just to keep the pressure off my elbows and my pecs.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. What do you got, Nick?
I just actually cut back in, so.
We were just talking. I was wondering where you're at. You haven't said anything for a while. Yeah, so I guess
Discord just sucks.
Yeah, we're about to get something else to record on. So we kind of touched on it earlier, and you might have summed it up, but because you're looking at doing the Kern, but kind of like what? Obviously, you're moving up to 181. What does, if you're looking at down the next 2 years, what are some meets that you're looking to compete at, and then what are some goals just to kind of wrap up the podcast?
Some meets, honestly, any meet, honestly, as long as I can really put up a big total, I feel like I have a good chance there. But definitely the Kern. I mean, obviously, I want to do the Kern. That'll help get my name out there a lot. There's a lot of recognition there. Some goals I have, pretty much, just make a top 10 list at 181. And honestly, I'm not looking too far down the road, just because I like to just keep my goals more short term. I think it's more attainable. So this first meet, I mean, obviously, I want to do over 1,800 at 181, which I think I would definitely do. And maybe break the top 10 list at 181. That's probably my most current goal, and maybe place pretty well at the Kern.
Yeah, definitely, man. I tell you what, I think top 10 181 is you're lowballing yourself a little bit there. I think you got the potential to definitely be higher up in the rankings than that. But I mean, there's some awesome goals. Do you think you'll ever get back into sleeves, or are you just going to say screw it and stay with the wraps for here on out?
Probably wraps just because I can put up the biggest total possible. But if I was to do like a quick meet, just out of the blue, I'd probably do a sleeve meet just because I don't need anyone there to really help me as much, and you don't need as much time to really prep for that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, again, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. Like, it's been great to kind of spend some time talking to you and bring some insight to your training for everyone. Again, what you've accomplished already at 21 years old is pretty amazing. So we all look forward to seeing what you can potentially do in the future. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you on social media? You said that's starting to blow up a little bit, you're getting more followers. We want to make sure our listeners can jump on and follow you as well.
My Instagram is just Nick Onega, NICK, last name ON as in Nancy, EGA. Hey, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Nice to catch up with you guys again. Yeah,
definitely. And again, if you're trying to find our Instagram, it's at Kilo Talk Podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So make sure to go check us out. Again, Nick, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.